Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this.
Top 1 today, we have an exciting discovery to share with you, one of the most intriguing and valuable coins from American history, the 1949 United States 1-cent coin. You might think, a penny? What's so special about that? Well, stick with us because this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a lot more than you'd expect. Let's jump right into it. The 1949 1-cent coin is more than just a piece of currency, it's a rare treasure that's become a hot commodity among collectors. You see, the US Mint issued billions of pennies over the years, but not all of them are created equal. The 1949 1-cent coin stands out because of its scarcity and the unique circumstances surrounding its production. Here's where it gets really interesting. Over time, the US Mint produced multiple variations of pennies, and some of those coins had minting errors. The 1949 penny is particularly known for these anomalies. Whether it's a misprint, an off-center strike, or even a double die, certain 1949 pennies feature characteristics that make them incredibly valuable. Collectors go crazy for coins with these types of errors because they're incredibly rare. A penny with a noticeable minting flaw isn't something you find every day, and when you do, it's often a sign that the coin is one of a kind. Imagine owning a piece of history that no one else has exactly like it, but that's not all. The 1949 penny's rarity is also tied to its age. As one of the earlier coins from the 20th century, the 1949 penny has survived decades of circulation. Many of these pennies were spent, worn down, and damaged over time. So, when you find a 1949 penny in excellent, uncirculated condition, it's not just rare, it's a true gem that could skyrocket in value. So, how much is a 1949 penny worth, you ask? Well, here's the jaw-dropping part. If you've got a well-preserved 1949 penny with no errors, it can still be worth hundreds of dollars. But if you're lucky enough to have one with a minting error, the price can go up dramatically, up to $75,000. Yes, you heard that right, $75,000 for a single penny. Imagine finding something that small and realizing it could be worth such a massive amount. Whether it's tucked away in a jar of old coins or hiding in a collection you've had for years, this coin could change your life. Top 2, we have a real gem from the past, the 1945 United States 1-cent coin. You might think, it's just a penny, but don't be so quick to judge. This little coin could be hiding a secret that could make you thousands of dollars richer. Intrigued? Stick around, because we're about to uncover just how much this coin could actually be worth. The 1945 penny might seem like an ordinary piece of history, but it's much more than that. If you look closely, you'll realize that the 1945 1-cent coin is a rarity, and it's highly sought after by collectors. Why? Because it was minted during a unique period, right at the end of World War II, when the US economy was in transition and coins like this were in circulation, making them hard to find in pristine condition today. But here's the kicker, the 1945 penny isn't just rare because of its age. There's something about this specific year that makes it even more valuable: minting errors. Some of the 1945 pennies were struck with serious mistakes, like misaligned dies or even doubling errors, making them stand out as unique specimens. Collectors are always on the lookout for these imperfections because they're one of a kind, and owning one means you've got a true treasure in your hands. Now, what makes these errors so special? Well, when the US Mint was pressing these coins, the machine sometimes malfunctioned, leading to coins being struck multiple times or not aligned correctly. These rare error pennies are incredibly valuable because they are completely different from the standard coins that were produced. They're a mistake, yes, but a beautiful, rare one that could make you a lot of money. Another factor that adds to the coin's worth is its condition. The 1945 penny was in circulation for many years, so it's rare to find one that's still in uncirculated, pristine condition. Most of them have been worn down by decades of use, so finding one that's flawless makes it even more special, and more valuable. So, just how much can a 1945 penny with a rare minting error or in exceptional condition be worth? Drumroll, please. If you have one of these beauties, it could be worth a jaw-dropping $81,000. Yes, you heard that right, $81,000 for a single penny. Imagine what that could do for you, what you could buy, where you could go. So, take a good look at your old coin collections, check for minting errors or any signs of pristine condition. You never know when a little penny could turn into a massive payday. Top 3. We're talking about a coin that could be sitting in your pocket or your collection right now, and it might just be worth a fortune. We're diving into the world of the 1944 United States 1 cent coin, a piece of history that's more valuable than you might think at first glance. The 1944 penny might look like just another coin from World War II, but don't be fooled. This little penny is full of surprises, and its value is climbing as more and more collectors realize how special it is. So why exactly is the 1944 penny so desirable? Well, there's a few reasons, and you'll want to stick around until the end to find out just how much it could be worth. First off, the 1944 penny is unique because of the time in which it was made. In the middle of World War II, the U.S. Mint made a huge shift in the materials used for coin production. During the war, copper was in high demand for military use, so the U.S. Mint started producing pennies using steel and zinc, instead of the usual copper. However, in 1944, the Mint returned to copper production for a short period. That's when a 1944 copper penny was minted. Here's where it gets interesting. While most 1944 pennies are made of copper, there are rare error coins from this year that were struck using steel or zinc, which were left over from the previous year. These errors are extremely valuable because they were unintentional, and they stand out in a collector's collection as truly one-of-a-kind pieces. Now, what about the condition of the coin? Just like with any collectible, the better the condition, the higher the price. The 1944 penny, especially in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, is highly prized. Most of these coins were spent and circulated for decades, leaving them worn and damaged. But if you happen to have one of these pennies in mint condition, you're holding on to a rare treasure. So how much can a 1944 penny be worth? Well, if you have one with a rare minting error or it's in exceptional condition, you could be looking at a staggering $85,000. Yes, $85,000 for just a single penny. Can you imagine that? A coin worth more than a house for something you'd never expect, just a simple penny from 1944. If you're digging through old change or checking your collection, make sure to take a close look at any 1944 pennies you have. You might just have a small fortune in your hands. Top 4. We're going to talk about a coin that might just be sitting in your collection, waiting to surprise you with its value. We're diving deep into the 1957 United States 1 cent coin, a seemingly simple penny that holds a fascinating history and could be worth much more than its face value. Trust me, this isn't just any old coin, it's one that could turn out to be a hidden treasure. Let's start with the basics. The 1957 penny was minted during an interesting period in American history. It was the year after the end of the Korean War, and the U.S. economy was booming. The country was well on its way to becoming a global superpower. These pennies were produced in large numbers, and you'd think that with so many minted, they'd be everywhere today. But that's where the story gets interesting. Over the years, many of these pennies were spent, worn down, or lost, which makes finding a well-preserved one quite rare and valuable. Now, what makes the 1957 penny truly stand out? One word: rarity. Although this coin was produced in massive quantities, not all of them have survived in excellent condition. Most of the 1957 pennies you'll find today are either heavily worn from years of circulation or have been damaged over time. But if you happen to come across one in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, you're holding on to something special, something that collectors would love to get their hands on. But it doesn't stop there. Some of the 1957 pennies come with unique minting errors that make them even more valuable. You see, sometimes the U.S. Mint's production process doesn't go exactly as planned. Coins can get struck off-center, with double dies, or with all sorts of unusual imperfections that make them stand out. These errors are incredibly rare, and collectors absolutely love them. They aren't just looking for a regular 1957 penny, they're after those rare, minting era pennies that are one of a kind. If you happen to have one of these, your coin could be worth far more than you think. The error coins from 1957 can be especially valuable if they have significant flaws, like a double strike or a misaligned die, which creates a distinct and noticeable design flaw. These are not just random mistakes, these are unique pieces of history, each one telling its own story about the minting process. And owning one of these coins is like owning a piece of the past that no one else can replicate. It's a treasure with a story, and that's exactly what collectors are looking for. Now, let's talk about how much a 1957 penny could actually be worth. If you've got a regular 1957 penny that's in exceptional, uncirculated condition, you might be looking at a coin worth a few $100s. But here's where it gets exciting. If you've got a rare minting error on that penny or it's in near perfect condition, it could be worth far more. Hold on to your seats, this is the part where it gets jaw-dropping. A 1957 penny with a minting error or in pristine condition could be worth a whopping $63,000. Yes, that's right, $63,000 for just one penny. Imagine finding a single coin in your collection or tucked away in a jar that could be worth more than most people's cars. It's an incredible thought, right? So, if you're lucky enough to have one of these rare pennies, or if you spot one in your travels, take a closer look. It might just be your ticket to a small fortune, but before you rush to check your change jar or rummage through your coin collection, remember that condition is key. The more pristine and error-free the coin is, the more valuable it becomes. A 1957 penny with a noticeable flaw might not be worth as much, but one that's kept in perfect shape or contains a unique minting error can fetch an impressive price. Top 5. We have an exciting find that might just be hiding in your collection or change jar. We're talking about the 1953 United States 1-cent coin, a penny that may seem ordinary at first, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. If you've ever wondered if a simple penny could be worth more than $1, then you're in for a surprise. Let's start by taking a step back in time to 1953. This was a year that marked the early days of the 1950s, a decade of great economic change and growth in the United States. During this period, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies, but what makes the 1953 penny so interesting? It all boils down to rarity, minting errors, and the fact that some of these pennies were struck during a time when even minor flaws could turn a coin into a prized collectible. The 1953 penny is considered valuable for a few reasons. For starters, it was made during a period when the U.S. was still adjusting to post-war economic changes, and these pennies were heavily circulated. Finding a 1953 penny in mint condition today is a rarity, as most have been worn down from years of use. And that's exactly why collectors are so interested in it. If you happen to find a well-preserved example, one that has avoided the wear and tear of time, you could be holding on to a valuable piece of history. But that's not all. Some 1953 pennies have rare minting errors that make them even more valuable. Errors like double strikes, off-center strikes, or die cracks can dramatically increase a coin's value. These types of minting flaws are not common, and finding one of these error pennies can be like striking gold in the world of coin collecting. Whether it's a double die, where the design is struck twice, or a misaligned die, where the image is off-center, these unique variations make the coin far more desirable. Collectors go wild for error coins because they're one of a kind. They are literally mistakes in the minting process that turned out to be some of the most valuable coins in existence. These error coins are unique because no two are exactly the same, giving each one its own special charm. If you're lucky enough to have a 1953 penny with one of these errors, your coin could be worth much more than you'd expect, and here's the best part: the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. While most 1953 pennies you come across might show signs of wear, those in uncirculated or near perfect condition can command a high price in the market. The better the condition, the more desirable the coin becomes for collectors. Even if there are no minting errors, a well-preserved 1953 penny could still fetch a significant sum. So, what kind of price are we talking about? If you have a 1953 penny in near-perfect condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $65,000. Yes, $65,000 for just one single penny. It's incredible, isn't it? A coin that's worth more than most people's annual salaries for something that was once just a simple penny in circulation. It's amazing how a small piece of currency, with a little bit of history and the right condition, can be worth such an enormous amount. So, before you toss that old jar of pennies or ignore the loose change in your pocket, make sure to take a closer look at any 1953 pennies you might have lying around. You could be holding on to something far more valuable than you think. Top 6. We're uncovering the hidden value behind a coin that may just be sitting in your collection or possibly buried deep in your change jar. The 1950 United States 1-cent coin, a penny that seems like a simple part of history but could be hiding a fortune. Yes, you heard that right. A seemingly ordinary penny could be worth far more than you think. Stick with me to the end, because we're going to dive deep into why the 1950 penny is so valuable and how you could make a fortune from something as simple as a coin. First, let's take a step back to 1950. The world was coming out of World War II, and the United States was transitioning into a new era of prosperity. The 1950 penny, like many others, was made during a time when coin production was ramping up due to the growing demand in post-war America. Back then, pennies were a common sight in people's pockets, used in everyday transactions. But what makes this coin so interesting, and why are collectors so drawn to it now? Well, the answer lies in rarity and uniqueness. When most people think of coins, they often think of rare, mint-condition pieces that are hard to come by, but the 1950 penny is unique because of how it was produced and the potential for minting errors. While many pennies were produced during that time, not all of them are in perfect condition today. Most of these coins were circulated and heavily worn down over the years, so finding one in excellent condition is already an exciting discovery. But, if you think that's all there is to it, you're in for a real treat. You see, the 1950 penny was minted during a time when the US Mint was still using traditional methods. These methods weren't as precise as today's technology, which resulted in some errors that make the 1950 penny even more valuable. Minting errors are one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting, and they play a huge role in determining a coin's worth. In fact, some of the 1950 pennies contain errors such as double dies, where the coin's design was struck twice, or even more unique mistakes like off-center strikes or weak strikes, which create coins that look different from standard ones. So, what do these minting errors mean for you? They mean that if you find a 1950 penny with one of these errors, you could be holding a coin that's incredibly valuable. Minting errors happen during the production process, but they don't happen all the time. When a coin has an error, it becomes unique, and collectors are eager to get their hands on these flawed coins because of their rarity. Imagine owning a piece of history with a mistake that only a few others have. There's something really exciting about owning a rare coin with a flaw that makes it stand out from all the others. The condition of the 1950 penny is another factor that affects its value. While minting errors are valuable, a well-preserved penny, even without errors, can still be worth a significant amount if it's in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. The more pristine the coin, the more collectors are willing to pay for it. Over time, many of these coins have been circulated and worn down, so finding one that looks like it just came off the minting press is a rare and exciting discovery. So, what's the big price? How much is this penny worth today? If you've got a 1950 penny in excellent condition, or better yet, one with a minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $70,000. Yes, $70,000 for a single penny. Can you imagine? A small piece of currency, so often overlooked, could change your life. Think about it. Something as simple as a penny could be worth more than most people's entire savings or even more than a car. If you have a 1950 penny in your collection, it's worth taking a closer look. Examine it carefully for any signs of minting errors, or see if it's in mint condition. You could be holding on to a coin that has been quietly increasing in value over the years. Here's where it gets even more exciting. You don't necessarily need to be an expert to spot a rare 1950 penny. Sometimes, just a keen eye and a little bit of knowledge can go a long way. You can search through your own collection or check any pennies you come across in your daily life. With so many 1950 pennies still circulating, you might just stumble upon one that's worth thousands of dollars. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about finding rare coins, it's also about appreciating the history behind them. Every coin tells a story, and the 1950 penny is no exception. It's a piece of American history that has endured decades of circulation, and now, thanks to its unique errors and rarity, it's becoming a collector's dream. So, if you find a 1950 penny in your change, don't just toss it aside. Take a good look at it and check for any unique features or signs of minting errors. You never know, you might have found a rare treasure worth much more than you initially thought. Top 7. We're uncovering the secret treasure of an often overlooked coin, the 1954 United States 1 cent. It might seem like a simple penny, but trust me, this little coin could be sitting in your collection or even in your pocket, quietly waiting to make you a lot of money. Stick with me, because you'll want to know why this penny is so special and how it could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Let's start by taking a journey back to 1954. The United States was in the middle of a post-World War II economic boom, and the country was experiencing significant change and growth. The 1954 penny was made during this time when the U.S. Mint was churning out millions of these coins, with no idea that they would one day become valuable collector's items. These pennies were designed to be used, circulated, and spent, and most of them did exactly that. But here's the catch: as these pennies made their way through years of circulation, many of them became worn, damaged, and lost. So, if you happen to find one in excellent condition, you've stumbled upon something incredibly rare. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this penny so special? Well, there are a few key reasons why the 1954 penny has gained attention in the world of coin collecting. First off, let's talk about its rarity. Although the U.S. Mint produced millions of 1954 pennies, the number of them that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition is quite small. Most of these coins have been circulated heavily, which means finding one in excellent condition is a real challenge, and it gets better. Some 1954 pennies are even rarer because of minting errors. Yes, you heard that right. Minting errors happen when the U.S. Mint makes a mistake during the production process, resulting in a coin that doesn't match the design it was supposed to have. These mistakes can create coins with unique characteristics that make them incredibly valuable. Some of the errors that you'll find on the 1954 penny include double dies, misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or even weak strikes. If you happen to find a 1954 penny with one of these errors, you could be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. The double die error, for example, happens when the design is struck more than once during the minting process. This results in a slightly blurry or doubled image, which can make the coin stand out. Other coins might have a misaligned die, where the image on the coin doesn't line up perfectly, creating an off-center design. These imperfections can make the coin look different from the rest, and collectors absolutely love them because they're unique and incredibly rare. But it's not just minting errors that make the 1954 penny valuable. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its worth. If the 1954 penny is in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, meaning it looks like it was just minted and never used, it can be worth a significant amount. A well-preserved coin is highly sought after by collectors, and the more pristine the condition, the higher the price. Now, let's get to the exciting part: how much could a 1954 penny actually be worth? If you have a 1954 penny that's in excellent, uncirculated condition, or one that has a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $65,000. Yes, that's right, $65,000 for just a single penny. Imagine holding a coin that could be worth more than a car or even a house. It's incredible to think that a penny that's over 60 years old could have such a huge value today. So, what does this mean for you? It means that you should never underestimate the value of a coin, even if it's something as small and ordinary as a penny. Coins like the 1954 penny have the potential to change lives, and with the right knowledge and a little bit of luck, you could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Now, I know you're probably itching to grab your change jar or dive into your collection to see if you have any of these rare pennies. And who could blame you? If you find a 1954 penny with a minting error or one that's in pristine condition, you might have just discovered your own hidden treasure. Before we wrap up, here's a tip for all of you collectors out there: always check the condition of your pennies carefully. Whether you find a 1954 penny in a box of old coins or in your spare change, take the time to examine it for any imperfections or rare characteristics. You could be holding on to something much more valuable than you think. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coin collecting and want to learn more about other valuable coins, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, and remember, your next great find could be just around the corner.